everyone, today's video is about when you get a panic attack. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and let's get going. The bustling streets of Tokyo felt overwhelming tonight. The neon lights flickered, and the throng of people seemed to close in on you with every step. Despite being in a familiar part of town, you couldn't shake off the gnawing feeling of anxiety that had been building up over the past weeks. It was a Friday night, and you and Bakugou, your explosive yet tender boyfriend, had planned a night out to relax after a long week of work and hero duties. Oi, you alright? Bakugou's gruff voice cut through the noise as he returned to look at you, concern etched in his crimson eyes. Yeah, just a bit tired, I guess. You lied, forcing a smile. You didn't want to worry him. He had enough on his plate already. However, Bakugou knew you better than that. He studied your face, noting the tension in your shoulders and the unease in your eyes. Don't bullshit me, he said softly, a stark contrast to his usual abrasive tone. As you walked, the crowd seemed to grow thicker, the air denser. You tried to focus on Bakugou's presence, but it felt like the world was closing in. The panic attack hit you out of nowhere. Your breath quickened. Your chest tightened. And your vision started to blur. Katsuki, I can't. You stammered, your voice barely above whisper. The panic was palpable now, and you couldn't hide it anymore. Bakugou's eyes widened in alarm. He quickly scanned the area and spotted a small, relatively quiet alleyway nearby. Without hesitation, he took your hand and led you there, away from the prying eyes of the public. Hey, look at me, he said, his voice firm yet gentle. He cupped your face in his hands, forming you to meet his gaze. Breathe with me, okay? In and out, just like that. You tried to follow his instructions, focusing on his steady breathing. Slowly, the world started to come back into focus, the oppressive weight on your chest beginning to lift. Bakugou continued to hold you, his thumbs brushing soothingly against your cheeks. That's it. You're doing great. He encouraged you, his voice a comforting anchor. I'm right here. You're safe. Tears welled up in your eyes, not just from the panic attacks, but from the overwhelming gratitude that you felt for him. Thank you, you whispered, your voice trembling. Bakugou pulled you into a tight embrace, his chin resting on the top of your head. You don't need to thank me, dumbass. I'm your boyfriend. This is what I'm here for. You clung to him, the warmth of his body grounding you. The sounds of the city seemed distant now, muted by the steady rhythm of Bakugou's heartbeat. After a few moments, he pulled back slightly, looking up at him. I'm sorry for ruining the night, you said, your voice barely audible. Don't be stupid, Bakugou replied, a rare softness in his tone. You didn't ruin anything. We can go back home if you want, or we can stay out. It's up to you. You took a deep breath, feeling steadier now. I think I'd like to go home. You admitted, a bit embarrassed. Bakugou nodded, his expression gentle. All right, let's get you home then. The walk back to your apartment was much slower, Bakugou keeping a protective arm around you the entire way. Once inside, he made sure that you were settled comfortably on the couch before disappearing into the kitchen. He returned a few minutes later with a cup of chamomile tea, handing it to you. Here, drink this. It'll help you relax, he said, sitting down beside you. You took the cup, your hand still a bit shaky. Thank you, Katsuki, you said again, looking up at him with deep affection. He shrugged, a faint blush coloring his cheeks. I told you, there's really no need to thank me. Just let me know next time when you're feeling like that. All right. I don't want to go through it alone. You nodded. a small smile playing on your lips. I will. Promise. Bakugou leaned in, pressing a soft kiss to your forehead. Good. Now let's put on a movie or something. Anything you want. As you snuggled into his side, feeling the steady rise and fall of his chest, you realized just how lucky you were to have someone like Bakugou in your life. Despite his rough exterior, he was always there for you, ready to catch you when you fell. And in that moment, you knew that with him by your side, everything was going to be okay. You nestled into Bakugou's side, feeling his warmth seep into you, a comforting presence that never failed to soothe your frayed nerves. He reached for the remote and turned on the TV, flicking through channels until he found an old action movie that you both loved. The familiarity of it helped you to calm down. Is this okay now? He asked, his voice softer than usual. You nodded, smiling up at him. It's perfect. As the movie played, Bakugou absent-mindedly ran his fingers through your hair, a gesture that always made you feel cherished and protected. His touch was gentle, a stark contrast to the explosive energy he usually exuded. You leaned into him, your head resting on his shoulder, feeling more at ease with each passing minute. Hey, you remember the first time we watched this? Bakugou asked, a rare smile tugging at his lips. You chuckled, nodding. Yeah, you kept complaining about how unrealistic the fight scenes were. He huffed, but there was no real annoyance in his tone, because they are. I could have done those stunts 10 times better. I know you could, but you still watched the whole movie with me. Yeah, well, I guess I just liked spending time with you. You smiled, feeling a warmth in your chest that had nothing to do with anxiety this time. I love spending time with you too, Katsuki. The movie played on, but your attention drifted from the screen to the man beside you. You watched the way his eyes lit up during the intense scenes, the way his mouth twitched when he was about to make a sarcastic comment. You loved everything about him, from his temper to his tenderness. And as the night wore on, you felt your eyelids grow heavy, and when you felt yourself drifting off, Bakugou's arm tightened around you, pulling you closer. Go ahead and sleep. I've got you. Good night, Katsuki. Good night, idiot. He replied softly, pressing a kiss to your temple. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and goodbye.